Hey, good morning, guys. This is Dr. Dobbs. I'm going to do a quick orientation, and we'll be looking at the online 201 courses, but this will go for the 202 as well. You just kind of adjust the chapter numbers you see. So with 202, it'll start at 15 through 18. For exam 1, 201 will be chapters 1 through 4. Okay, so if you're here, if you're watching the orientation, of course, you made it to start here. So it's got all this information that I put in the announcement as well. Instructor contact, syllabus, and so forth. Okay, again, because it's Windows 10 or whatever, it compresses that thing. But anyway, so I'll just pull up the syllabus and we'll kind of go over everything a little bit. Of course, my instructor info you can look at, which is just me and my family, and the contact. The biggest thing is as I say here, and also in the up here in the syllabus and so forth. The best way to communicate with me about this class is through Blackboard messages down here. Okay, so you'll click on messages, create a message to, and then you'll look for my name, not the preview user, but the instructor. Okay, and then you select that into recipients, and then type me a message. Okay, so that's always the best way. And again, communicate fully, tell me who you are, what you need, that kind of thing. But if you're using the Blackboard message, I at least know what course you're talking about. I've got 7 courses, over 200 students. If you just email me and say, hey, what about this or whatever, I won't know what that is. Okay, so that's the best way. If you don't hear from me within, say, 24 hours, now again, I usually work on weekends, but I'm not required to. So just during the week, if you don't hear from me by the end of the day or the next day, then you can email. Okay, and that contact information is on the syllabus. Okay, so we'll just look through the syllabus and what's required and all those kind of things real quick. Again, this is see if I can download this. I decided to go ahead and download it so I could look at it a little easier. Of course, if you're here on campus, I'm here a lot now. Monday, Wednesdays, I go up and teach a class at Cherokee in the mornings, and I'll be back most afternoons. But again, I'm around a lot if you need to come see me. I'm no longer division chair. If you've taken my class before, this will be the first semester. Mr. Williams is taking over for me, so that's good. If you have a problem with me, then you go to Mr. Williams. But you can see the book that we need that you'll use. You don't have to have an access code or anything, so you can get a used version. We encourage you to use the bookstore. I think they price match even too. But again, you do need access to the text. Okay. Some of the dates you'll see there, the last day of withdrawal, which I'll remind you of, the final exams at the end of the semester, the objectives and learning outcomes we'll talk some about later, because we'll do a couple of assignments that will be targeted toward a couple of those. The big question, of course, is how do you make an A in the course? How do you earn your grades? A big chunk of the course, of course, is exams, 400 points. Now these will be, let me go back to the course. These will be based on the list of terms that I provide for you. Okay, so under study tools, okay, here's exam 1 study tools. There's exam 1 terms, and this would be the same for 202. It'd be chapters 15 through 18. I also post PowerPoints. Now these are PowerPoints from, this is my PowerPoints that I use. Now I have them connected, then I posted lectures. I'm teaching these same classes this semester, and so usually what I do, and I'm not really sure if I'm able to do this for 201 because I'm not sure if I can record up at Cherokee, and I'm doing the 201 up there. But these are class lectures from last semester. Basically the best thing to do, take the terms, print them out, whatever, go through, listen, watch the lectures, take notes just like you would if you were in class. Okay, because a lot of the things that as I have on the syllabus, a lot of the terms, I'm going to tell you what you need to know about the terms in the lectures. Now and we'll talk more about this on the exams. I don't ask you to know dates because we do so much other. We have a lot of other assignments that are open book and that contribute to the grade as well and make you think. the exams will be more factual. There's some conceptual questions, but mostly factual about the terms. Who's a person, what they do, and why are they significant? 200 years later, why are we talking about them? Okay. So, again, I don't cover all the terms, but then under the Study Tools tab, as I showed you, there's the review quizzes that you can use to prepare your chapter. Reading quizzes you can use to prepare, and of course the text. So everything in there used to kind of prepare for the exams. After that, then there's chapter reading quizzes. If you had my course before or last semester, I had objective and short answer quizzes. This time I'm just going to do the objective quizzes. So it's 10 points per chapter. You can actually get up to 150, okay, if you do all of them and get them all correct. But I'm only going to count 140, so you can basically get 10 extra points on that. So again, they're found here under everything that's required. All right, is under required stuff right here. People say, well, what's required for class? Well, right here, everything under required stuff. These are things that you're required to do. Chapter quizzes here, they're all set up weekly. Okay, so the first one actually, because we're starting here on this Wednesday, it's a little funny. You'll be required to complete it by the 17th, and then mostly all the other due dates are Sundays. Okay, and then also for each chapter this time, instead of the short answer quizzes, you'll have a discussion post. And so you'll go to and I'll post a more detailed description about the discussion post here in a minute or later, but also I'll describe it well, let me just go ahead and go to the discussion. Because your first assignment, very, very important first assignment, is go ahead and do a class introduction. For some reason, I tried to put that up top. This just tells you how to post, but do a class introduction. I've started by introducing myself, but then you need to go ahead and create a thread of your own and put the subject like hi or introduction or something like that, and then do a full introduction of yourself, as I say up here. Pretend you're standing up in front of class saying, this is who I am, this is my background, some interesting things about yourself, your major, what you plan to do, okay? Give a full introduction of yourself, okay? The reason why this is important, and you need to do this immediately, like by Sunday, I have Sunday as the date on this, is because this is the way I count your attendance, okay? You don't come into class, so for financial aid and everything else, this counts your attendance. Okay, so we go back to the discussion board. So when you're doing this discussion, just remember that's the way you do this a lot. When you click on exam chapter 1 discussion, you create your thread to then put a subject in it, either just exam 1 or whatever, or not, excuse me, exam 1, chapter 1, and then you put your full answer in there. Okay. And here's the question up there. All right, going back to, so also then under required stuff, well, those are the things that are under required stuff. Okay, you'll also eventually have 2 30-point essay questions, and these will be the ones that will be tied to the student learning outcomes. But I'll post. One's going to be related to exam 2 content, one's going to be related to exam 4 content, but I'll go ahead and post them early so you can be working on them, and I'll have a rubric laid out, tell you exactly how to do it, exactly what you need to be looking for, and I may even post, because I know in class we'll talk about the questions some, so I'll try to post those recordings when we talk about them, that kind of thing. So I mentioned the discussion again. It's 150 points. That's one for each chapter, but also you could actually end up getting 160 because there's 15 chapters. But also I'll give you 10 points for the introduction. So for the class introduction. And the last thing I put in participation activities and assignments. This could be some additional things I might have you do. Again, some additional maybe student learning outcome assignments, primary source quizzes, something like that. I just put that in there, as I have you do some other things. So the bottom line is then the total points possible in the course, if you add up all these things, is 800 points. So you can see exams is over half. So half the course are things that you can do that are open book, basically. You just put the time and effort into it. Okay. And one other thing about the quizzes and other things is they're open now, of course. Okay. But remember, you can when you open it, when you take the quiz, and again, they all open up here. I'm old school. I would probably copy and paste this and have it, so then I can just go through the book and answer them, because this just takes you through the text. Okay, you're just going to go through the chapter and read and answer these questions. But you can answer and hit save answer. Okay, and then down at the bottom, you can let's see, boom, boom. You can just hit saving all answers. Okay, and then you can come back to it. Okay, until it closes next Wednesday. So remember, you can only hit save and submit one time. Okay, once you save and submit, it's submitted for a score. Does that make sense? Okay. All right, let me go back here. Get out of here. Yes, I want to leave. All right, go back to required stuff and then to the syllabus. Okay, so it's pretty straightforward. Again, the chapter, the tentative schedule, and I put tentative here all over the place. This could change. Okay, so the most important thing is to regularly check announcements, and I'll post announcements. I'll often have written announcements. I'll post video announcements here with it. So check these announcements all the time in case I need to change a date or open something or whatever. But for the most part, I believe that schedule is going to work. Okay, and again, I've got the schedule here as well. And then we'll talk later about doing the exams. Now, one thing on the exams, you will need a webcam like I'm using. Okay, you have to use Lockdown Browser and Monitor. There's information on this, and so soon, sometime in the next week or so, you'll need to download that, and I'll remind you about it, and take the practice test. Okay, because I want to make sure you have all that working before we take the first exam. Okay, all right. So I think that's just the first little kind of brief introduction. If you have any questions, again, message me. There are the extra point. I have already set up the book review, which you can read about here, and I'll talk more about later. I'll also have some other assignments posted, probably for some extra points, some primary source quizzes probably. And then also there'll be some things that happen during the course of the term here on campus or related to school that I might bribe you to attend. Okay, so I give you opportunities. There's a number of opportunities. If you know anyone who's taking my classes, I give a lot of opportunities to do some extra things, put the extra work in to improve your grade and that kind of thing. So again, there's folks waiting to get in the class here this morning, so I'll let you go for now. But again, if you have any questions, message me. Go do the introduction for attendance verification as soon as you can, and then get started as soon as you can. Don't let this build up. Okay, I do have the weekly deadlines so that you won't let it build up to the last minute, because it can get overwhelming then. Okay, all right, take care and good luck. Have a great semester.